Hello and welcome to this episode of Own the Journey, where we get to interview amazing people from around the world and share their wisdom with you. Today we're here at the Think Summit with 417 Magazine, and we get to interview David Cameron from the City of Republic. David, thanks for being here.
It's great to be here.
Yeah, we're super excited to hear about it. So for those that don't know your history, share just a little bit about your background and how you got to where you're at.
Well, my history is I grew up in 417 land, so I grew up in Miller, Missouri, just right down the road, about 30 miles west of here. Went to school in Southwest Missouri, went to college, and then went off to Northwest Arkansas for about 16 years, and that's where I began to learn in city administration. Became a city administrator down there in Siloam Springs, was there for 16 years, and then had the opportunity to come back to Southwest Missouri, but I wasn't really looking to come back home, but there was an opportunity in Republic, and again, I wasn't really all that interested at first until I saw the opportunity that was there, that was presented to that community. And so came back home about 7 years ago in 2016 and just took right off. And yeah, things have been fantastic ever since.
Well, and the City of Republic's done some absolutely amazing things with the Amazon Center and all the job creation, the economic impact that has had in the region is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, I mean, we've worked very hard on three fundamentals: on process improvement, relationships, and trust. And so we wanted to make it so easy to come and do development in Republic because it was sitting at a certain geographic location in the United States with an airport 6 miles away. We have rail, we have I-44, we had James River Freeway. And what I recognized quickly in Republic was they were not leveraging those assets to create those opportunities. But more importantly, the processes they had in place for getting those projects approved were taking way too long. So what used to take 6 months to get a development done, we can now get done in 6 days.
Wow.
And so when Amazon or an Amazon-like facility calls, you don't have weeks and months to sit there and try to process that. You have a right then second, and we have a business model that allows us to move quickly and swiftly that says, we want you in our region. We don't have barriers to entry. We have the, hey, come on in, we want you here. And so when we landed the Amazon campus, 1 million square feet, 1,800 employees, we're like, this is just the beginning. And then Convoy of Hope is expanding their world headquarters, their whole campus out there on 137 acres. It's pretty impressive of the things that we've been able to do, but it proves that money follows trust. We trust that we can invest there, we trust that we can get it built there in a timely fashion, and that's what happened for us.
Well, I think you guys are doing a really special and unique job of blending the private-public sectors. I mean, you're making the city operate as quickly and as succinctly as a business needs to.
Yes, and we believe that we are to operate like a business. So we manage our bottom line, we manage expenses, we manage revenue, but we leverage that revenue back into infrastructure with the development community. So just to your point, we partner with the development community and we become an investor ourselves. So in a lot of the work that we did on the Amazon campus, there was already public funds that we had added to create the opportunity. So why would you invest millions of your own dollars, then create a bureaucracy around it that they couldn't even permit or get inside? So we have built a model that's based upon us becoming a capital partner, but when you look at the financial impact back to our region, I mean, our revenue has grown by 75%, our net asset position has grown by 85% as a community. And some people won't even look at that, but if you look at our balance sheet, we've grown more than just in numbers, we've grown in cash position, and that's making it an economic vital organization or community is our objective.
Well, I love what you said about money follows trust, and I think that the community leading that methodology or that thought process in the region is exactly what we need. You were just on stage talking to us about regionalism and how important it is. Obviously, that's a big passion area for you, and I'm right there with you. So tell us just a little bit about what that means to you and why you think it's so important.
Well, I believe regionalism is a business model. I do not believe it is an ideal. So it's like us all getting together and getting along. That's just community.
Yeah.
But regionalism is about getting some things done and leveraging our resources, leveraging our assets, like our airport, our infrastructure, but also what we actually have after 5 o'clock. But here's the thing, there are a lot of challenges that are facing our region, such as workforce, talent retention and attraction. When you're losing students from graduating college here and moving off to other states that are not wanting to stay here, what do we need to do to attract them? And those are strategies we need to be working on. Absolutely. Because when you're trying to attract other businesses to come in, you need a workforce to be there. Well, they got to want to live, work, and play there, and we got to keep those things at the forefront. Poverty is an issue. We got to consider crime. We got to consider education. We got to consider healthcare. All those things need to be holistically worked on not just on infrastructure or economic development, but we have to be working on it collectively. And that's why I'm passionate about it. Is I'm concerned for the future of the region if we do not start tackling those issues collectively, that we're going to leave it all up to Springfield to say, hey, Springfield, figure all this out. But we need a vibrant and healthy Springfield because it impacts us all. They are the centerpiece of it all, and regionalism, I believe, helps us get there.
I think that's absolutely right. Well, real quick, I know that one of the things that's passionate, or that you're passionate about, is maintaining a life balance. You know,
Yes.
managing work, your home life, your family, and
Yes.
making a priority. So, talk to us about how, when there's so much going on and the challenges that you face, how do you manage that well?
Well, one of the things that I do is I make it very clear whenever I leave the city, I have no contact. So I do not contact the city. I don't allow people to contact me. So I literally go and find a different phone that basically my friends and loved ones have. There's an emergency number, but I literally turn my email over to someone else and allow them to operate the city. And each year what I do is I take a time away, 3 weeks every year, with no access to phone or email from the city. And I just take a break. And I give that to my leadership team as well. I want them to get away. It's almost like a sabbatical, I guess you would call it. And we call it freedom leave. And I wrote it when I first came to Republic for myself because of my own challenges to balance work-life balance. And you got to disconnect and you got to get away. But I believe when you do disconnect completely from it, you kind of slow down, you find yourself again, and you can start seeing the sunset again. You can start like, you know what? Life doesn't have to be this fast. This is not this fast. This job is not my identity, and I need to be the best version of myself. The only way I can do that is to take a break. And so I get away from it. I shut off my phone. I let other people run it for me, and I do the same thing for my employees. It's very important because if you're going to get the best out of your employees, you got to invest into your employees. You got to care what happens to them after 5 as much as what happens to them on the bottom line.
I love that. That is so good. And the fact that you say that this isn't my identity, you know, that's so meaningful and powerful. I think a lot of people can take away from that. Well, we've got to wrap up. Tell us some of the best advice that you've ever received.
Well, I'm going to give you, I'm going to give it from my mom. I got 2 of them.
Yeah.
My mom taught me around the Word of God. She just did. And she taught me that the verse that trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He'll direct your path. And that has guided me in everything that I do. And but my dad also taught me it takes no talent to quit. And that taught me a lot, that anyone can quit. It takes no talent to do it. And so when you face challenges, go right at them. Don't run from them. Run to the fight.
That's amazing. Well, David, thanks for taking some time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.